Math. So I want to look at accomplished teaching from outside the box. There's so much we can learn from teaching from other avenues. And one thing that I can offer as a coach, I coach high school swimming and I coach middle school cross country. So here's my disembodied head. And some of the things that I do, I'm a runner, I'm a swimmer, I'm a writer. I see a connection between those three. I'm also a teacher and a coach. Now for some, those are synonyms, okay? But I think a coach takes a certain angle that we can learn from as accomplished teachers. So what's the link between running, swimming, and writing? Well, besides the smiley face, which my wife designed, she's a graphic designer, and fine work. A runner has to want to run a mile. A swimmer has to want to swim a lap, and a writer has to want to write a page. If that isn't there, it's not going to work out. So when we force students to write, it doesn't work out as well. So it's all about this internal fire, this intrinsic motivation. How do we get students to want to do this, to need to do this, to recognize this intrinsic fire? Another link is that these are product and outcome based. The same way when you run to train, you're running for a race and a time. When you're swimming, you're training for an event, for a competition. And when you're writing, you're maybe writing for a publication, maybe for a grade, but you're focusing on that finished product. Okay, let's talk about coach versus teacher for a second. Again, for some people, these are synonyms. But a coach offers, for me, a coach is meeting athletes where they are, offering guidance, inspiration, building trust, and offering training, skills, stamina, and bravery. All of this can be applied to both athletics and writing. So there's a great article in Running Times magazine this past summer called Timer, Trainer, Motivator, Enabler, What Makes a Good Coach. And this was all commentary from Olympic level athletes and world-class athletes about what made a good coach for them. I want to share some of these quotes with you. The first one, emotional and personality matches are what's most important. Okay, from an athlete to one's coach. What I need most is to be empowered by my coach. Notice that these say nothing about running, nothing about skill. And I think they could be applied to a teacher, to a writing mentor as well. Two more. Good coaches identify what made them, the athletes, tick, and making people believe in themselves. I knew they were in it for me and not for themselves. You can see how this could be applied to a teacher, applied to a writing mentor. Something else that was interesting about the article, they talked about how the majority of good coaches didn't quite reach the level they were going for in their career. Okay, there's still the desire, there's something else to do. They're still working on refining themselves, and they're passing that on vicariously to their athletes, in this case, our writers. So, the old saying, those who can't do teach, is incorrect. It's those who are still doing teach. So this summer, I did my first half Ironman, and there's like 2,000 athletes or something. I finished like in the top 1,000, which is mediocre, but I was really happy with it. But here I'm coming across the finish line. I was 27th out of that amount in the swim. I'm still working on my swimming. That's got to carry some weight with my swims. Well, maybe not. High schoolers are hard to please. But I'm still working on refining myself. I do this as a writer too. Here's a response I wrote. I shared with a Friday writing prompt with my class. I was trying to get my high level to have more fun with writing. So the prompt was to write about something you know nothing about and to make it up. So I was picking on my ballet dancers a little bit and talking about how European dancers were vampires and all this stuff. So the idea here is to do it with them. Write a lead in front of them, share a work in progress, model your writing process in front of them, share something personal, expose your guts, all with the idea of building a writing community, inviting them to join. You're equal members in that. You're a coach, you're a guide. Another great resource for coaches is called the Talent Code. Greatness isn't born, it's grown. Here's how. There are 3 principles with this, which I think that writing teachers can pick up as well. The first is deep practice. Every time we do something, we build myelin, a pathway in our brain. Okay, so deep practice is when you take immediate feedback, you self-correct practice, doing it right and working out the kinks as you go, and you're solidifying that pathway and being able to do it. Okay, it works for writing the same as it works for athletes. The second one is called ignition. So providing an opportunity, be it a writing contest, be it a chance for publication, plus hope. Share with your students the fact that other students have done it in the past. Share successful student work equals a spark. We start to fire up that intrinsic motivation. And finally, master coaching, which I define as quick, effective bites of applicable feedback, providing reaction in real time. The legendary basketball coach John Wooden, in 30 seconds, used to model the right way to do a skill, demonstrate the incorrect way, and remodel the right way. Very quick, effective way to do it. All of which comes back to the question, getting students to understand the question, what do they want to write? Getting them to understand what they need to write, and building that intrinsic motivation, and again, that connection between what a coach can offer and what a teacher can offer. So some of the resources which I shared, there's a YouTube video on deep practice, and that article you can access on my resources page. If you want that, you can come up and see me afterwards. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.